Hello and welcome to Racers Now. It's just 2 weeks until the St. Leger, the final classic of the season. But the big question is, does anybody care about the St. Leger? There's 15 horses entered at this stage. We're just 14 days away. Aidan O'Brien trains 9 of them. The highest rated of those 9, Los Angeles, won't be running anyway. 5 entered from UK shores, and only one of the 15 is trained in Newmarket, the apparent world headquarters of the thoroughbred. We are told. What is going on? Now, I care about the St. Leger. I love it. I think it's a great end to the season. Should be the final leg of the Triple Crown, the near impossible that was last done in 19, whatever it was, 70 by Nijinsky. And should be, it comes at the right time of the season. It should be the focus. It should be the focus, following the Guineas, following the Derby. But I mean, what's going on? The breeding addiction for speed in this country is a big part of the problem. There simply isn't enough staying horses around. The Irish Champions Stakes is on the same weekend. Not every year. It wasn't last year, but it is this year, and it is most years. The emergence of Irish Champions Weekend, as they call it, at Leopardstown on the Saturday, at the Curragh on the Sunday, I think that's having an impact. I mean, despite dominating the current entries, 9 of them, as I've said, and the anti-post betting markets, Aidan O'Brien's got the top 3. The Ballydoyle boys clearly prioritise Irish Champions Weekend ahead of the St. Leger. I mean, it's quite simple, really. Ryan Moore will not be at Doncaster, and he will be at Leopardstown on the day of the St. Leger. But much of that is racing politics. Back to the betting, and we'll get that along the bottom of the screen there. 6 weeks ago, when I first looked at this race, I put up 2 horses. Mutawid at 50-1, has since finished 4th in an Ascot handicap and 6th in a Yarmouth handicap. So Mutawid, that I put up at 50-1, clearly won't be running or winning the St. Leger. And the other one was Dear Mile at 16-1, who was due to run in the Voltager, but was a non-runner. That was at York, a non-runner there on a vet certificate, and then couldn't win a 4-runner listed race at Windsor just 3 days later when sent off 11-10. He might still run in the St. Leger, Dear Mile, but he's a bigger price now at 20-1 than what he was when I put him up at 16-1 6 weeks ago. So it's not gone great from an anti-post perspective in terms of the bets I've put up, a theme that's been ongoing for 2024, but we're hoping to turn that around. There's still quite a few anti-post races to go. Back to the top of the market for the St. Leger then. Aidan O'Brien, as always, has got the first 3 in the betting. You've heard this song before. Illinois looks likely to be the first choice, with Wayne Lorden now all but confirmed to be coming over to ride him. Wayne is the second jockey at Ballydoyle behind Ryan Moore. Often rides a lot of pace setters or second choice horses where they have multiple runners in big races. I didn't think that Wayne would come over actually for this. I thought Ryan and Wayne would both stay over in Ireland at Leopardstown for the big races over there. I think in the Irish Champion, they're going to have Augusta Rodin, Luxembourg, and possibly Los Angeles as well. So there's definitely a couple of openings there. They're obviously top class horses in their own right. That's why I thought Wayne would have stayed over there and not come over to the St. Leger. But yeah, it looks like he's going to come over. It looks like he's going to ride Illinois. He rode him last time, where Illinois was second behind Los Angeles in the Voltager. More on Los Angeles in other videos this week, but he looks slow as a boat to me. He won the Irish St. Leger. He's won the Voltager, which is clearly a St. Leger trial, Irish Derby, that is. He won the Irish Derby and the Voltager. He was supplemented for the Voltager, but now they're talking about they're bringing him back to the Irish Champion, where he can finish 3rd or 4th, and then go to the Arc after that. They're saying he's got more class than a St. Leger horse. I don't believe any of that. I think he's slow as a boat. I think that the St. Leger is the perfect race for him, and he's not going there. Bit of a head scratcher for me. We'll cover that. We'll cover him on another video. But back to Illinois. He was second behind Los Angeles in the Voltager. He was second in the Group 1 Grand Prix de Paris before that. And before that, Illinois was winning the Queen's Vase at Royal Ascot, which is over 1 mile 6. A definite early season pointer towards a St. Leger type. Definitely stays, but doesn't quite have the sexy profile, in my opinion, Illinois. That's not to say that he can't win. Obviously, he's up there at the top of the market at the moment, 2-1 favourite. From the same yard, and a horse that definitely does have a sexier profile, is Jan Bruegel. Unbeaten in 3 starts, trained by Aidan O'Brien, ridden by Ryan Moore on 3 starts to this date. Still raw, but plenty of potential. He didn't make his debut until quite late on. Didn't run as a 2-year-old. Made his debut earlier this year and has knocked up 3 wins. He was far from knock you over impressive on his most recent start in the Group 3 Gordon Stakes at Glorious Goodwood. That you can admit, very workmanlike, but still pretty green. Looked like he might have hit the front too early. There was only 4 or 5 runners in that race. He stays all day, this Jan Brugal. He looked like he might have hit the front too early, but did plug on when he needed to at the business end. When he was challenged, he was definitely on top at the line. Did he win like an 11-10 shot on the day? No. Did he win like an anti-post St. Ledger favourite? No. He'll clearly need to improve on that. And he could well do. Like I say, he didn't make his debut until this year. Didn't run at all last year. Unbeaten in 3. So he's got the right to improve. He will have to improve, I think, to win this St. Ledger on what he did at Goodwood. And he does look a bit of a tricky ride. And with Ryan, as we've mentioned, not being at Doncaster, and Jan Brugal looking like a tricky ride and a tricky customer, still green, still learning, who will ride him? Could be William Buick's ridden for Ballydoyle before. James Doyle has done more riding for Ballydoyle before, and I think including in this race last year actually as well. So be interesting to see who rides Jan Brugal on the assumption that Illinois will A, go off favourite, and B, be ridden by Wayne Lorden. Grosvenor Square is the third in the betting, again trained by Aidan O'Brien, possibly the pace angle, as he did make all in a borderline ridiculous Irish St. Ledger trial last time at the Curragh. Just go back and watch that. A front-running track. Ryan Moore is mustered from the front at the Curragh anyway, more so than ever this year. Has proven on many occasions this year, from maidens to Group 1s and to Irish St. Ledger trials. This Grosvenor Square, they let him go clear. He won by 20 lengths. It was a bit of a joke of a race. That was his first win of the season. He was talked up as possibly a Derby contender at the turn of the year. Definitely on not the top of the pecking order on what he did as a juvenile, but certainly talked in that conversation. Like I say, his first win of the season came when he made all at the Curragh and he won by 20 lengths. Who knows what to make of that? Could be the pace angle in the St. Ledger. And again, who is going to ride him? Would it be someone like a Holly Doyle or a Tom Marquand? Or, it's going to be interesting as to who picks up these couple of spare, but very good and very, the market suggests that 6-1 Grosvenor Square, 3-1 Jan Brugal. They've got very good chances of possibly winning the St. Ledger. Who will ride them and who will pick up those spears? It'll be pretty interesting. Everywhere I look, I can't find anything exciting. I think you might have gathered that theme from this video so far. But, Someway probably has the best chance of those trained in Britain by David Minutier. Was ridden by James Doyle last time in the King George, but Oisin Murphy before that. He was second in the Irish Derby this Sunway, which was a cracking run behind Los Angeles on the day. Bit of a bunch finish it was, particularly for the placers. Then this Sunway went over to the Ascot for the King George and finished 4th in that, but he was over 10 lengths back. Unsure what to make of that. It just looked like he was plugging on, staying. He went past August Rodin late on. Everyone else in the race kind of fell apart. Good form of the race. The winner and the second looked pretty decent, but 10 lengths back, it is when you start getting to 5, 6, 8, 10 lengths from winning, it is difficult to work out, what the form of being 10 lengths behind in a Group 1 is worth. He is a likely runner this Sunway, and it does look like he takes different types of ground as well. It was pretty quick earlier in the season. And then it was a bit soft at the King George as well for him. So he's shown a liking to all sorts of grounds. Is he good enough? Well, we're going to find out. Ancient Wisdom is the Newmarket representative, the sole Newmarket representative in this St. Ledger at the moment. But he absolutely must have soft ground, this Ancient Wisdom. They are on record as saying that, and it's proven that that's what they will do. They will not race on anything that's quick for this boy. I'm no long-range forecaster, but he's got half a chance of getting the conditions he wants, this Ancient Wisdom, at Doncaster, being it in the middle of September. He was 8th in the Derby, which was run unofficially good to soft. Winner of the Bahrain Trophy at Newmarket's July meeting, again on good to soft, but I thought that was an awful renewal. If you look back at that, 4 runners, a couple of them didn't turn up at all. This Ancient Wisdom had the rail, made all, not seen since. I really do question that form of the Bahrain Stakes. But if it comes up soft, I'm pretty sure this Ancient Wisdom will run. And it'll be hard to kind of assess what kind of chance he has because we've not seen him enough for him to prove how good he is. obviously being owned and trained by Godolphin, very, very well bred. May well be a contender, but has a lot to prove. Then, we're into the market of bigger prices. Dear Mile, who I've already touched on. I mean, yes, he had a break before his Windsor run. He ran fourth in the Derby. He's been aimed at the St. Ledger for many months. He clearly is going to stay the trip. He was a staying on fourth in that Derby. They gave him a break thereafter. He was due to run in the Voltager, non-runner there, which hurt me because I put him up anti-post for that at 12-1. He was a non-runner on the day at about 6. But you would be hard-pressed to watch Dear Mile in that Windsor run, that listed race against older horses, and call him a St. Ledger winner on the back of that performance. He finished second. He was 11-10. I mean, the trip didn't look far enough. It was 1 mile, 3 furlongs and a half, I think. But just probably lacks the class. I think he's likely to run. I'm committed on him now anyway. I've put him up at 16-1 on the channel. I've backed him at 16, but am I confident about Dear Mile? No. And unfortunately for me, he's 20-1, so he's a bigger price now than what he was when I put him up a few weeks ago. But much has changed since then. Align the Stars, he's also in here. He's a 99 rated handicapper for Charlie Johnston. I mean, what more do you want me to say? Then it's on to the O'Brien also runs. There's 5 of them at 50-1 or bigger. The likes of Chief Little Rock, the Equator, Port Fairy isn't going to run. Euphoric, not done a lot this season. That those lot, I'll take Port Fairy out of that. She's pretty decent, but won't run. So yeah, they've already got the pace at the top of the market, potentially with Grosvenor Square. So do they need to run a Chief Little Rock, the Equator, or Euphoric, anything like that? Probably not, is my thinking there, but you wouldn't put it past O'Brien. Having half the field on the day, he's already got 9 of the 15, as I've mentioned. So yeah, hardly any positives from me in this video in regards to the race itself and the runners within it. I do apologise. I have looked. There's no bets. But as usual, all roads lead to a familiar destination, and that is Aidan O'Brien and Ballydoyle. I just think it's going to be quite simple, really. They've shown time and time again this year. You look at the Voltager itself, a couple of weeks ago at York, 5 runners. O'Brien had 3 of them, and they just dominated. I think that's probably what's going to happen here in the St. Ledger. If it does come up very soft, that my only caveat is if it comes up soft enough for Ancient Wisdom to run, he is a contender. We don't know how much of a contender because he's not proven how good he is yet, but I can just see it being Grosvenor Square leads, possibly ridden by Holly Doyle, Jan Brugel, possibly ridden by James Doyle, not related. Runs well, Jan Brugel, looks to have a good chance before inexperience and or misbehaviour put a stop to him. And Illinois, with his unsexy profile, will just stay on past all of them in a poor renewal, and Illinois will probably win. Am I putting him up as a bet at 2-1? No. Is it very exciting or sexy? No. But that's just where we are. As usual, here on Racers Now, we'll try and preview all the big Group 1s as the season goes on the flat season, and there's plenty to come. We'll be looking at next week, the Haydock Sprint Cup, and then the week after, we've got the Irish Champion Stakes and the St. Ledger, which we've covered here. And then all roads are going to start leading to a couple of big 2-year-old anti-post races, Group 1s. Then Champions Day on the 19th of October, where very, very likely I'm going to owe SD a few quid because he is miles in front in our tipping competition, me versus SD this year. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon here on Racers Now.